If you are running on EOS, the entrepreneurial operating system, and you've been searching for what a fractional integrator actually costs, you have probably noticed something frustrating. Most providers do not publish their rates. The information is hard to find and ranges vary widely, and it's difficult to make a real business decision without a clear answer. This video gives you that answer, real numbers, honest context, and a clear framework for thinking about whether the investment makes sense for where your business is right now. I am Fredrickson, founder of the COO Solution, and we place EOS trained fractional COOs as integrators into growth stage businesses across the globe. Now, before the numbers, it helps to understand what drives the cost, because fractional integrator pricing is not fixed, and it should not be. 4 variables determine what you will pay. The first is hours per month. Most EOS businesses in the $1 to $20 million revenue range typically need between 20 to 80 hours per month, depending upon team size, complexity, and growth stage. More hours mean more embedded operational leadership and faster traction, but also higher cost. Getting the hours right for where your business actually is matters more than chasing the lowest number. The second is experience and EOS fluency. A fractional COO who is EOS trained has operated inside the integrator seat across multiple businesses and steps in with fluency on day one, commands a higher rate than a generalist. That premium is worth paying because the ramp up is shorter and results come faster. The third is your business's complexity and stage. A $2 million service-based business with a team of 8 has very different operational needs than a $15 million company with 4 departments and a full leadership team. Complexity drives those hours, and the hours of time drive the cost. And the fourth is the engagement model. Some providers charge hourly. Others work on monthly retainers. Retainer-based models can provide deeper integration, a more predictable cost structure, and perhaps a higher level of operational leadership than simple hourly engagements, which tend to be more advisory work rather than embedded execution. Here are the real numbers. The general market range for a fractional COO or integrator in the US runs approximately from $4,000 to $10,000 a month. At the lower end, you are typically looking at a lighter touch engagement. At the upper end, you have a deeply experienced and embedded operational leader running your level 10 meetings, owning your scorecard, and driving your rocks to completion every single week. Compare that to a full-time integrator hire, which typically costs $200,000 to $300,000 per year in total compensation, including salary, benefits, and onboarding. Fractional delivers the same caliber of operational leadership at 30 to 50% of that cost, with no long-term employment commitment and no severance risk. For most growth stage EOS businesses, the economics are not even close. Here is the reframe that matters most. The question is not what a fractional integrator costs. The right question is, what is it costing you to not have one? Every week that the integrator seat is either empty or filled incorrectly, you as the visionary are absorbing operational weight that slows your growth, causes burnout, and prevents the business from scaling. That cost is real, and it does not appear on an invoice. For example, one of our clients, Rocky Anderson, CEO of ADC Water, brought in a fractional COO through the COO Solution, and within 5 months, revenue grew from $65,000 a month to $350,000 a month. Forecasted annual revenue hit $3.7 million with 58% net profit margins, more than 3 times the industry average. The cost of the engagement was a fraction of that outcome. The question is never whether you can afford a fractional integrator. The question is whether you can afford to keep running without one. At the COO Solution, our fractional COOs are EOS trained and wired for the integrator seat. What the monthly retainer buys is not advisory work. It is embedded operational leadership. Your dedicated fractional COO runs your leadership team, owns your EOS operating cadence, drives accountability across the organization, and builds the infrastructure that allows you to step back from the daily operations. Our psychographic matching process ensures the right fit between you, the visionary, and your COO, protecting the investment from day one and accelerating the relationship. In addition, our 30, 60, 90-day process means traction begins immediately. By 90 days, the shift is tangible. And from there, it is an ongoing partnership that evolves as your business grows. Listen, one last thing worth saying directly: cost without context is misleading. A $5,000 a month retainer feels significant until you calculate what you are personally absorbing in operational time, missed strategic focus, and stalled growth every single month without the right person in the integrator seat. And the CEOs who get the most from this model stop asking what it costs and start asking what it returns. That shift in thinking is what the real decision gets made. Listen, you cannot scale yourself, but with the right integrator in the seat, you can scale the business. So if you are a CEO running on EOS and the integrator seat is empty or not working, the next step is a simple conversation. First, take our fractional COO quiz to identify what kind of operational support your business needs right now. Then schedule a discovery call and we will talk through your specific situation and the right path forward. Often starting with the conversation is the best next step. You bring the vision, we run the operations that make it real. I am Fredrickson, and this is the COO Solution.